5th year this coming year. We started in 1997 in new builds, and we went into real estate in 2005.
Yeah, we're super excited to be with EXP. You know, we had always had a good real estate job, but we never really had a good real estate business until we found the tools that EXP has to offer. And one of my favorite parts is actually this ICONversations, because we work as a collaborative experience at EXP where we're going to try to help pour into all of you who are out there to try to get you to be an ICON agent. And if you're out there and you're watching this, you don't know what the ICON agent program means. What that means is EXP actually compensates you. They give you your $16,000 cap back in company stock. And so we're super excited to be on this up here with everyone. And I think what's going to happen, since Mike's not here, I'm going to step away from Stacy a little bit here, and I'm going to go ahead and moderate. If everybody on the screen on the stage is okay with that, I'll just take over. Is that cool with everybody?
That is great.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's do it. So I want to thank everybody for coming and getting in here today. What would be great for you is if you could find just one thing that you could take today from these superstars and implement into your business to help grow your business. Because at EXP, we know this, as all of us being business owners, when one agent wins, we all win. So we're all looking to help each other. So I'm going to get started with some questions, and I'm just going to work on the stage here as you people are looking at it from left to right. So it'll go Lindsay, Karina, and then Craig, and then Stacy. And so we'll start off real quick here. Let's talk about prioritizing. What is your number one priority you do every single day? Everybody up here is an agent. We know that we get super busy as agents. We get bogged down in the day-to-day activities of it. But if you could only have one thing that you could do, Lindsay, what would be that one thing that you would do no matter what?
Is this on a professional level or personal level?
Yeah, I think you are the brand, right, as a realtor. So yeah, either personal or professional. Go for it.
Yeah, so I love on my people. I'm, obviously a team leader, but I have a goal of making everybody on the team achieve their goals. So every morning we start out with a goal and gratitude, and every agent on the team gets on video. We operate in a communication system called Slack, and just quickly shoot a quick video. It gets our agents comfortable putting themselves out there, and it's one goal that they're going to focus on, or we're all going to focus on personally, professionally every day, and one gratitude. So something we're grateful for, something that's happened, something that we want to shout out that somebody on the team did, and it's called our goal and gratitude. We do it every day, Monday through Friday.
That was a great answer on that. I love it. Karina, you're next. By the way, Karina, great job moderating the last session on that. I know being up there can be tricky, and you handled it like a pro. So great job. Same question to you, Karina.
Well, thank you for those kind words. So because of how I function with my brain, I know my numbers pretty well. We keep it on an Excel spreadsheet. So as soon as I get into the office, we have our morning meeting, and I sit down with our two key people in the company, Mark Brown, who's our client services manager, and Melinda Johnston. Melinda Johnston's in charge of our database follow-up, and she's our listing specialist. Mark handles transactions as soon as they go on the contract. He handles the relationship from when it goes on the contract to closing, so I can focus on the bigger nuggets of getting more people, talking to more people and getting more contracts. So we go over all of our transactions that are pending, that are in the process. We check, make sure everything is there, no loose ends. We go over our listings, everything, so we know what's going on. If there's any fires you got to put out, we know what we got to do that day. Then we look at our calendar, see who's doing what appointments, so on and so forth. And then once we know where we're standing in the morning, everybody goes off to do their own thing. I do my own thing. And then that's the routine. So we always know what's going on. Every 24 hours, we know if there's any changes, we are on it.
I love it. You can't hit a target that you don't know what it is, right? You got to have it. So that's great, Karina. I love it. Craig, same question to you.
Yes. Well, Shelly and I, we've been blessed since we've been at EXP. We've been able to kind of step pretty much out of production, and we still work on some bigger deals with like builders and developers and larger commercial deals. But for the most part, it's allowed us to work on the business instead of being in the business as much. And what that has allowed us to do is support our staff as well as, plan forward. So, I mean, we support our operations manager, we have a trainer coach on our team. We have marketing and distribution. We also have a client concierge, which basically loves on all of the agents' sphere along with them. And so as a group, our support staff supports our agents, but that's allowed us to basically support our support staff and first and foremost, plan for the future and be able to always be ahead of the curve, which has allowed us to really we tripled our production since we've been at EXP in these 4 years. And I think a big part of it has to do with the way we're able to set up our team structure and support from the top down.
Great job, Craig. I can see why you're a 4-time icon on that. And Stacy, 3-time icon, working on your 4th one right now. What about you?
So I know we have a lot of teams up here, it sounds like, and people think that Jim and I are actually a team, and we're not. We have the best of both worlds. We're independent agents. I'm an independent agent, did about 60 houses this past year. So I focus on the production side and Jim focuses on the recruiting. So with production, after 25 years in the business, our lead gen literally is our sphere of influence, past clients, friends, family. So every morning I was really on purpose with my social media this past year, and I got rid of all the junk people on there. If they haven't invited us into their lives to sell real estate, I really don't need them on our social media. So our social media, or mine, is full of all of our, I think we've done how many houses? 1,500 houses since we've been selling. So every morning I'm in social media lead generating, because for us, that literally fills our plate.
That's funny. That's a little inside joke about the social media, because Facebook kicked me off, put me in Facebook jail, considering I'm too opinionated on there. So, all right, let's go on. Let's go with a fun question right here. I've got a great question I want to ask each one of you, and that's this. We know that leaders are readers, right? You've got to be constantly improving yourself. You are the brand. So I'm going to go right down the line again, the same order. What are you reading right now? I'd love to hear it.
I'm reading a book that was recommended to me. It's called The Shadow Effect. It's more of a personal development book, but it's on my nightstand. And several people actually within the EXP organization recommended it. So far, it's been really a great book. I don't know if anyone else has read it.
Beautiful. If you guys want to type those in the chat box as you say them. Karina.
So for me, because I'm a type A personality. I am intensely involved day to day, lots of things going on. I don't have time to really have the luxury of relaxing or reading a book. But what I do is that I read as much as I can on everything that comes out on Inman. I find that I get a lot of information there, useful information. So when I get a chance, I have a stack of like maybe 25 articles that I've been collecting for the past 3 or 4 months that I have not been able to get to because I've been so busy. So I'm going to take that on my Christmas vacation, and I want to get through all of them.
Beautiful. Craig, how about you? What do you read, man?
Did you say me? You kind of broke up.
Yep, you, Craig. Go ahead.
I'm not much of a reader, believe it or not, but I love podcasts. I'm always trying to increase my knowledge in life, in business, in real estate, overall success. I listen to a lot of different podcasts. I try to read up on in the news, obviously, to stay in the know with the industry, but I mean, I like being very broad, and then I try to take what they're talking about and apply it to our business, my life, and real estate. But I mean, from a real estate standpoint, I like investment stuff, Deeper Pockets podcast. I listen to some Gary Vee every once in a while. I like his approach to things. I love Joe Rogan, is awesome. A lot of really interesting people and interesting topics that are very broad. So, I mean, you can apply it just to general life and business and apply it to what we're doing. So that's kind of how I approach things.
I like that, Craig. You had a question in the chat box if you want to type in there some of your favorite podcasts and things from there. It's great. Stacy, how about you? What are you reading right now?
I think I'm following suit a little bit, as I am not out of the two of us, I'm not the book reader, but every morning I do a morning meditation and daily enlightenments. It's really 365 days of a couple of paragraphs that really gets your mindset. So that's what I always start my day out with.
I love that. And I learned the other day when I was doing one of these Icon Zoom panels. Now, we don't just do these on Fridays, but there's Zoom panels you can get on. And I was moderating that. And I love after 25 years, I can still learn something all the time. Craig, I think your mic's on. And what I learned was this. As realtors, we are just swamped, right? We don't have any time, but you have to constantly be improving yourself. So I was turned on to an app called Blinkist. And I'll put it down in the chat box. Blinkist. They take business books or meditation books or whatever it is you're looking for, and they condense them down to 15 minutes. And you can have it in a visual where you can read it, or it's an audio while you're driving. And they'll take an entire business book and shrink it down. I thought it was awesome. It was a great recommendation from an agent out of Kentucky, and I'm going to miss her name on here, but she's doing over 100 transactions a year. And I'm like, this is a woman I should be listening to. And Blinkist. So I'll put that in there. So let's go to the next question. We're going to go right down the line again. And this is a great one. Take 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes, and give one piece of coaching. 2 minutes or less. I'm going to go Lindsay, Karina, Craig, and Stacy again. But 2 minutes of coaching that you could give an agent to help them get to the next level. It could be a newer agent or more experienced agent, but just 2 minutes total or less. What would be coaching you would give that person? That's all you could give them.
Yeah, so I think agents, new agents, experienced agents, I think they get lost in so much of like the Zillow, the lead gens, the just, the pay for business sort of channels in the real estate industry rather than just focusing super heavily on your sphere. So any new agents that join our team, we tell them sit down, write 200 people that you know. And they say, well, I don't know 200 people. I'm like, yes, you do. Your hairdresser, your kid's babysitter, everybody in your ecosystem, write their names down, reach out to them, let them know who you are, what you're doing, lean heavily on your community, give back. Meet the local business owners, go up and down your main street, introduce yourself, be selfless, put yourself out there in a way where if you can offer yourself to them without expectation, your community will give back to you over and over and over again. So referral, I know like Stacy and Jim, you do a ton of referral business. My business is completely referral based at this point. I could never pay for another Zillow lead, and the people in my, community will continue to refer us because we've taken care of them over the last 12 years that we've been here, and we've done it in a way where we don't expect anything in return from them. So if you do the right thing, you're honest, you treat people with respect, integrity, they will continue to refer business to you over and over and over again. Stop thinking about what the one commission check is going to be worth and think about the longevity and the lifetime of that client. We don't call them past clients, we call them forever clients. So take care of the people around you. Don't worry so much about paying for leads and then where's your next lead going to come from. Literally start pounding the pavement, be really grassroots about generating people, in your local community. And that's a free way. I mean, we're huge on social media. So put yourself out there, get on video. I know it's not comfortable, but it's also another really effective tool in promoting yourself and being in front of as so many people, way more people than you can get in front of with a postcard or a mailer or email. Put yourself out there, be uncomfortable. That's where growth truly happens. And you'll be surprised at how many people come to you because they didn't know you were in the industry or, they didn't know that you were in the business. So you'll see a return definitely on just being a little bit uncomfortable in front of the camera. Social media wins always.
I love that. Forever clients. That's Awesome, awesome. Karina, 2 minutes or less, number one piece of coaching advice you could give an agent to get to the next level.
Well, what I'm going to say is pretty basic because we've all heard it a lot, and I have heard it many, many times over my short 8-year career. It's implementing it. That's the hardest part. You can hear everything, great ideas, but if you don't implement, then things never happen. So for me, number one, philosophically, what is the purpose that you have to be in this business? Okay, it's not for everybody. So think about the purpose of why you're doing this. I have my purpose. Number two, database. No matter what you're doing, you have to have a way of tracking who you're talking to, contacting. I started early with Market Leader, then tried Zerple, then I went after that into Commissions Inc. And I just switched again because I'm looking for the best technology all the time. Number two, get yourself a mentor. You need somebody. If you're newer, less than a year or 2 or 3, doesn't matter how much time you've been in the business, you need somebody to mentor you. Could be another agent, it could be a service, you choose. There's no substitute for discipline. It's a routine. This is not a job, it's a career, okay? It's not a part-time thing, oh, we're gonna make some bucks, no. If you wanna be successful, you have to focus like a laser and do what you gotta do. Always never forget that we are in a service business. So we pick up the phone, we go above and beyond. Client, always number one. Second is you. Third is your commission. So when I tell my clients, you first, my reputation second, commission last. So whenever there's a tricky situation or negotiation, what's best for the client? That's my North Star. I always come from contribution, always. I never expect anything in return. And I'm lucky in that when I was born, apparently the genes from my mom and my dad gave me something that we all have heard before, is that I look at life with a glass half full. And somehow there's always a silver lining. And it's not how many times you're defeated or you fall down, it's in getting back up and getting back on your feet and keep going. That's it.
I love that, Karina. Yeah, when we found the less we stopped focusing on money, the more the money flowed to us. Is really amazing, great insight on that. Craig, how about you? 2 minutes of coaching for somebody or less that can change their business forever.
I would say the first thing to do is get plugged in. And what that means is, be present, hop into EXP World, take classes, be at team meetings, read the news, know what's going on, know your market, be plugged in. 9 out of 10 times the people that do not succeed in this industry, they're not plugged in. They feel like they have no help, they're not learning anything, they're not moving forward. You always need to be moving in order to get to a destination. So get plugged in and learn as much as you can. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm sure there's people who have been in here twice as long as I have in this industry, and they're learning something every day, whether it's about a transaction or it's technology and how this industry changes so fast. That's one of the most important reasons why you should be plugged in, because this industry changes, monthly, daily. It's insane, and we're ahead of the curve being at EXP, but there's just so much to learn that's going to make you better. Invest in yourself. If you're going to focus on your real estate business, I agree, don't focus on the money, and sometimes that's hard to do, but focus on units. Focus on the amount of units you can do. Focus on your database. Relationships are king. Relationships are everything in this business. So build deep relationships, and when you build those relationships, reach out to those people on a constant level, which is pretty challenging sometimes, but set yourself up on a schedule to touch them, whether it be phone calls, handwritten letters, text, IM, Facebook comments, likes and social media, One of the things that we like to do is learn about their business. Most people have some kind of business, and learn about their business and how you can refer their business and how you can help them. If you start referring a lot of business to someone else and not asking for anything in return, I promise you it will come back in tenfold. And it may not come from that person, but it's okay. But if you keep giving and giving and giving, you're going to get a lot in return. Someone mentioned exposure. Exposure is everything. So put yourself out there. I agree with everything that everybody's been saying as far as, get that out there on social media, get out there at events, join groups, head up boards, get into masterminds, insert yourself wherever you can and just try and give and get exposure, and you will be the expert. You always have to be front of mind to everybody around you, especially in your sphere. They buy a house every 3, 5, 7 years, but their people around them are always looking to buy or sell. And when someone says, hey, I'm thinking of selling my house, you want to be the person that comes front of mind. And the only way you can do that is keep a deep relationship and stay in front of them. So, and then when you do give advice out there, you always want to give value in everything that you do. If you're calling someone, try to call with the intent of giving value. If you're going to text someone, try to text with giving value. At the very least, make it about them. If you saw something on social media that their kid won a Little League championship, then make it about them and their kids, and just
is to make sure you're showing up in these people's feeds. And I'll give you some tips on how to do that. But you want to make sure what they see is positive. I put gratitude posts up. And it's nothing lengthy or anything like that. Normally it's a meme actually that I've stolen from somewhere else because I've signed up for all those memes. It's a funny joke. It's a meme. I used to put, and this is where it really took some working on myself. I used to almost debate things, if that's a way to look at it. I got rid of all the negativity. I don't put anything bad up, even though if I'm having a horrible day, I'm still putting the positivity stuff up. And then when you're in your feed in the morning or throughout the day, it's not even necessarily in the morning, make sure when your client puts the picture up of their Christmas tree, or they're not just liking it, actually put something on there and then make it a question. Like I had one the other day that we just closed on their house a couple of months ago. And I noticed they had new flooring. So I said, oh, I love the Christmas tree. I love the flooring. Is that something you guys put in? Because if they answer your question on their post, now you're going to start showing up organically in their news feed. So don't just like photos. Yeah, ask them questions like the kids. How old are they now? Oh my gosh, you have a new dog. What's his name? Make sure they're answering it. And then two, one way, if you want to make sure you hit everybody, and this is Jim's idea, or it was his idea, is when they're, every day you get that list of birthdays. Remember, you've now changed your social media to be a target audience of your clients, friends and family that will, and I agree with Craig, they're not selling all the time, but they know people that are selling. So go in and don't just send them a happy birthday. Don't put it on their page. Don't send them a private message. Do a Facebook video. It's 1 minute, short and sweet, but no one else is doing that. And again, when you start that interaction, you're going to start showing up organically, because here's the thing, 3 posts every 1 where you're asking for business don't deserve their business unless you're being authentic and you're really engaged in their lives. If you're just asking for business all the time and you're not giving them some true, authentic relationships, you don't deserve that referral. So that's that. Hopefully that answers your question there, Jessica.
That's great. Yeah, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust, and so they got to get to know you. And engagement, you got to engage with the people to get to beat the Facebook algorithm on there. So I have a great question. We're gonna go down the line again in here, and this is a really good one, especially with it coming to the end of 2021. What is a tool or piece of tech that every agent needs to be doing in 2022 if they are not already doing it? So take a gander at that, take a swing at that, Lindsay, and we'll go right down the line here. But what's a tool or piece of tech that every agent should be using in 2022 if they're not already doing it? And if it's an EXP tool, you get bonus credit for it.
Oh man, well, I'm a big CRM girl. So I'm going to break it down actually even more micro than that. I think everybody, and I was actually shocked when I realized how many agents on our team don't keep a calendar. It's so simple. It's nothing nothing extraordinary, but I mean, for a real estate agent, you have to live and breathe your calendar. So I would set up your Google Calendar today. It automatically defaults to West Coast time. So make sure you change your time zone and put everything in your calendar. We always tell our agents, put your personal life in there first, you know, your family stuff, things you have to do on a daily basis, and then build out your calendar from there. We have it's called the perfect day. It literally blocks the agent's calendar from sun up to sundown on the highest and best use of their time, dollar wise, and live and breathe by that. So if you're flying by the seat of your pants and you have a showing at, 2 o'clock today and you don't think you're going to forget about it, well, as you scale and get busier, you are definitely going to leave your clients sitting there waiting for you and you will start forgetting. So my tech piece is your calendar. Obviously, CRM for us is second. Make sure all your clients are in a CRM, but for super micro, Google Calendar for sure.
I love that, Lindsay. I always tell agents when I'm coaching them, show me your calendar and I can show you your commission check. I can predict where it's going to be, right? So that's a great one, Lindsay. I love it. Karina, you're next. A piece of tool or tech or something somebody has to be using in 2022 if they're not already using it.
Well, it's pretty simple. It comes back to the CRM. It's just so simple. I mean, you have to implement it. I would not have ever been able to be where I am today, not just without the CRM, but with all the tools and things that they come with. KB Core has a lot of good things. There's a lot of technology, artificial intelligence out there. I am awash in tech. I have a bunch of other tech things that I implement that are part of the whole puzzle. If you want to be at least, you don't have to use tech, but if I think that you need to get involved in tech or over the next few years, you may find yourself at a disadvantage to your competition. So CRM, number one.
Great. Who are you using for your CRM? You using KV Core? What are you using, Karina?
So I just made a bold step. I was with Commissions Inc. for about 5 years, and through a series of analysis that I performed about my business, looking back this past year and looking at my competition, I realized that the CRM that I was using was not cutting it. So I was racking my brains. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And I came back to one of the original ones that I was looking into, which was Curator. Now, Curator is not a CRM. Curator is a digital marketing company that happens to have a CRM in the back end, which in this case is Chime. So I have transferred, as of yesterday, my 13,000 record database into Chime. It was extremely nerve-wracking. We did it, and Chime, I have to say, I've been using it just for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It is so superior than what I thought was an amazing platform, which was a good one, but I'm glad I changed. I think change is good. You need to shake things up.
Yep, I love it. I love it. Craig, how about you? What's a tool or piece of tech that somebody has to be using in 2022 if they're not already using it?
Well, we use a number of different things, but the one I'm going to focus on here is Trello. We use Trello it's basically a sequence organizer that you can create basically step by step and pull people into each step of the process that they're in order to stay organized, whether it be processes of that particular event or multiple, like say people, for instance, or multiple closings. And you can kind of move a card along the different points of where they are in the process. So Trello is a great one. We use that for our closing coordinator, along with our agents, to see where they are in the process and what the agent needs to give the closing coordinator in order to get them to the closing table. We also use it for our onboarding for our team as well as for EXP. So when we're onboarding someone, we have someone that does our onboarding, and they move that agent along that Trello board so that we can stay on top of where they are in the process and nobody falls through the cracks. And we also now use it for events. So we've created templates for different client events or organization events that we put on so that we don't have to recreate the wheel every time. We can just pull that particular event. We know exactly what needs to be done, the process that it needs to go in, who needs to do it, and it makes duplication very, very easy. So that's Trello. Of course, calendar. Someone recommended a calendar, and that is, I mean, it's so simple, but you got to have a calendar. If you get good at using a calendar, I would recommend Calendly so that you can people can make appointments on your calendar. And then we also use Sisu for our numbers and tracking our numbers for our team and other statistics.
Beautiful, Craig. I love that. Will you type those in the chat box? I know we're going to hear those, especially those you throw it at the end, Calendly and Sisu. Stacy, go ahead.
Probably the one thing that I would advise, and it doesn't matter if you're a brand new agent, experienced agent, I really wasn't looking to increase my volume in 2021. And by just taking the Relo certification course, it increased my volume by almost 20%. Our relocation team is absolutely amazing. They're very hands-on in helping you. So if you are a newer agent, don't be afraid of it. I would get signed up ASAP on the next series of classes for the certification. And yeah, that would be my biggest tip for the new tool to add into 2022.
Yep, that was huge. Absolutely. I would also add express offers. If you're not express offer certified, get that done. And also, if anybody out there is thinking about doing resi-mercial, which means you're a residential agent, but you want to do some commercial deals, we're actually partnered with the NCREA. And you probably heard Jim Wong and Stephanie Gillizen talk earlier in the leadership. You can actually go ahead and get a commercial designation that normally would run you several $100. They'll get you that for free, and you can have that. And that's another piece you can add to your another arrow in your quiver, if you will, that you can do and actually help you do a few more deals next year in 2022. So that's great. I've got a fun question that we're going to go with here. And this is going to be kind of a fun question because we've been all serious with everything on it. I'm going to start with Lindsay, go right on down the line. What's the biggest myth in real estate for agents? Like, we got a lot of newer agents that might be watching this. What's the biggest myth in real estate for agents? Go ahead, we'll go right on down the line.
That it's easy. I think, real estate is a difficult career. I've seen so many agents get into the business and just think they're just, going to be shooting dollar bills out of guns and driving Lambos, and it's a tough business. It's incredibly rewarding, but it takes a little bit of patience. And I just think there's this myth, which I try and debunk with anybody we meet for the first time. It's hard, it takes a lot of hard work, takes patience. It's, sometimes it's a lot of volunteer work because you're running around for free until, you make deals happen. So just understand as you get into the business that it is going to take time and effort and, just putting your head down and one foot in front of the other. But if you stay consistent and stick to your calendar, it is an incredibly rewarding career.
I love it. Karina, you're next.
So I'm going to agree with Lindsay, but with a twist. There's no glamour in what we do. There's a lot of satisfaction. There's a lot of happy moments. I think if people think it's glamorous when they figure out that it's not, then I always tell my potential new people coming in, I actually try to discourage them to be a realtor. and tell them all the negatives or all the, the difficult stuff. I'd like to say in closing about this is that real estate is easy, but it's also so hard. And you can make it as easy or as hard as you want, depending on how you tackle or how you approach the business.
Love it. Craig.
There's a lot of myths, but I think a lot of newer agents come into the business searching for the silver bullet, like something that's going to give them the success, and they get sucked into a lot of people calling them as agents. Our number is everywhere because we want to be accessible, but that's accessible to all of the people that are trying to sell you stuff. So beware of the things that that people say are, this is the greatest thing and it's going to give you this many appointments and people get this many deals when they sign up. You will waste thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on that stuff. You are the key to your success. The first thing that you have to do is put 100% into your business, your day, and your success. Shelly and I have built our business around, we always use the term earn it. So if we want, and when we say earn it, we mean, if we want to invest in something, we're going to do it the hard way first and kind of create our own version of it and commit that we will do it and be consistent at it and get some result out of it. And if we earn the ability to do that, then we will buy the thing that makes it easier. I think you have to commit to what you're doing before you buy the tool. You can't build it and hope it comes. You have to put in the work first and then reward yourself with the tool that's going to help you get there even better.
I love that, Craig. If you want to be an icon agent, you got to do icon agent work before you get to be the icon agent. Stacy, biggest myth in real estate agent for real estate agents?
That real estate magnets work. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding if anybody's doing that. Probably the one thing I would say, and it's following suit a little bit, but I have to flip it a little bit, is that you do a little bit of work and make a lot of money. It's actually flipped. When you step into real estate, a lot of the agents that we mentor.
Hey, Karina, I think your microphone's on.
A lot of agents that we mentor, and I know one of the questions in the chat was, how do you transition from a part-time agent to a full-time agent? It's all about expectations. There are a lot of upfront costs and a lot of upfront work just to get your snowball going. And sometimes that closing doesn't even come for 4 to 5 months. So that's probably the biggest myth, is that you can just step in, do very little work and make a lot of money. There is an amazing amount of money to be made in this, especially with the EXP opportunity, but it takes a ton of work and upfront. It's a lot of upfront cost.
I'd say the biggest myth is that a $10,000 commission is a $10,000 to you, the agent. It's not. Don't forget, you got to pay taxes out of that. And also you need to set aside money for marketing dollars. Don't spend it all in one place, as they say, when you get that big fat check where you're going to be rich for a second and then you're poor the following month. That's the biggest myth, I think, for real estate agents on that. So let's talk about making some money. If you're out there, you're zoning out a little bit, you want to snap back in right here, because this is going to be this is an awesome question. I'm going to go right down the line again. And that's this. What is your most effective lead generation or tool or process that you use? I'll go Lindsay, Karina, Craig, Stacy again. What's your most effective lead generation tool or process? If you could have only one, just one, what is your go-to? Go ahead, Lindsay. Got you muted out, Lindsay. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. So we're huge on social media. A lot of our business comes from it. We have a pretty significant presence. We do a lot of video work. We have an internal videographer that does a lot of agent spotlights, local business spotlights, adding value, which we talked about a lot. Minimize the just listed, just sold, look at me, more market updates, market trends, what to expect, what to do, you've done an inspection, now what? Just continuously pouring into, the consumers that are watching you and providing value to them. I mean, I just think social media in terms of advertising and marketing can't really be touched, in any other lead gen tool. That's my thing. That's kind of the gold for our team, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. Karina, number one tool, your go-to, if you could only have one, what would be the one you'd use?
My YouTube channel, which I am in the process of growing. I put that link, I think, in the chat. It's called Living in New Hampshire with Karina and Freddie, where we show what it's like to live in each of the 8 towns surrounding Lake Winnipesaukee and the towns behind that. We talk about pros and cons. We talk about an introduction to the area. So that is our number one priority for the next years to come. Grow our YouTube channel. We have already been getting calls from all over the country about people who want to live in New Hampshire.
I love it. That's awesome. YouTube channel. Craig.
Well, we talked a lot about exposure. I think one of the hardest ones, but one of the most effective ones, is the phone. I mean, and I'm not great at the phone. Shelley's a lot better at the phone than I am. A lot of our agents are great on the phone, some better than others. But if you can, call and do those touches via phone, especially to your sphere, you're going to get business. What we use kind of a variety of everything, and I don't want to kind of skirt the question, but we do a lot of social media to stay in front of them. So we give great service. We stay in touch with them with phone calls. We do a lot of social media, whether it be what we're doing in the business or giving value or just general marketing. And then we do about 4 or 5 large events a year. And then we also do like big giveaways around the holidays to our top 10 clients per agent, and just stay in front of them that way. But I would say the phone is the most powerful, because you can have a relationship building conversation, build that up, and then they are always going to ask you about the market and how things are going, and they lead you into business, and you don't even have to.
I love it, Craig. Yeah, effective social media has got to be one of the top lead gen tools out there. So great points on that. And the old school phone, man, I like it. Spoken like an old pro. Stacy, go ahead.
So obviously I agree with social media, but I'm going to give you one that we haven't talked about, some that we've chosen to do. We have local nonprofits that we personally believe in and that we're passionate about. And we've been at their events, we've volunteered, they've known us literally for decades now. So we've built these community relationships where we give back. So 2 of them in particular are animal rescues. And we have earned the right to be in their social media groups, which they have thousands inside there. And everybody knows that if they come to us for their real estate, that we will actually donate a part of our commission back. So that added a lot of business. That's a little helpful hint outside the box.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. That's great. So what we know as real estate agents is that we are the brand. I love that about EXP. It allows us to be the brand, and we know that people are hiring us. And so one of the things we have to do is be in a constant state of improvement, always improving ourselves. And so the next question I want to ask down the line again here is, where do you invest in yourself in your education and coaching? Do you have a coach? Are you spending money on it? What percentage of your income are you spending on it? Let's give an idea for that.
Yeah, so I'm huge on personal development. We have a mantra, it's to be 1% better every day. Over the course of 365 days, it'll be 365% better. So we're huge on, we do self-directed accountability groups on our team, which is, 100% accountability, no excuses, just continuously showing up. Yeah, I do have a personal coach. I'm also an athlete. I have a coach for triathlons, and I have a real estate coach. So I've had a few of them. John Kitchens, who I love, he's in the Honey Badger group. I don't know if anyone here is a Honey Badger, but oops, sorry. And I've coached with Veronica Figueroa, who's also an EXP agent. She's amazing. So both of them, personal level, team level, huge on personal development.
I love it. Karina, you're next.
So I read as much as I can. I do a lot of Inman reading. I said that already. Sometimes through that, I'm introduced to new companies, new ideas, trends, new technology, and then I dig deeper and see if it fits, if it doesn't fit, if I need to be concerned. I think I wish I just had more time. So I'm working in my business and I'm trying to get more time to work on my business. And that's my next phase for this year, is to grow my team so that I can look at things at a 5,000-foot level instead of being at the airport level. So that's it.
Great. Craig, you're next.
Yes, Shelley and I, we have a consultant coach that we've hired, and definitely helps us with our business and bettering our business, bettering our ability to manage money and so forth, everything above, just leading us in that route. But also we have a good sized organization, so we have a lot of coaches and people with what we call superpowers within that organization, and they all give their time within our organization, within our private group. We have all of those archived and put into modules as well. So we all give our input there. So I've learned a lot of stuff through the people in our organization that do things different. I mean, that's the great thing about real estate. There's no one way to do it. Everybody excels a different way. You just kind of pick the different things that are interesting to you and you feel are in your wheelhouse, and grow from them. And then of course, I always love like podcasts and different things. I have about a 30-minute commute back and forth to where I work every day. We do have an office. I am at home right now. So I get a lot of stuff from there as well, but we do have a consultant coach as well.
Love it, Craig. Stacy, go ahead.
So what's interesting is for my best personal growth, the past year and a half, I took on the mentor role. So when you have to go back and teach the basics, it kind of teaches the leader to go back to the basics. So I would advise anybody out there, you do not have to be a quote unquote certified mentor. If there's any guidance you can give to some of the newer agents coming in, we have 132 below us, all in different parts of their real estate career. And by just immersing myself and helping them, it's really done an amazing job for just taking me back to the basics.
I love it. And, if you're out there and you're like, wow, these guys are on stage, they're icon agents, they're spending all this money on coaching and things like that. What I loved about EXP, I mentioned this at the beginning, I'm going to circle back to it here, is that we have tons of free coaching. I mean, look at these superstars on stage that are giving away and sharing their secrets that every other brokerage we were ever with, everybody held close to the vest, right? Nobody wanted to tell anything about their best lead gen source or anything like that. So it's all available here. And we have like one of the best sales coaches out there, Grant Cardone, right? We have Grant Cardone, where you would normally have to pay for that. That's included. Glenn Sanford and the team here have totally invested in all of us. We have Success Now, which is a part of our basic, one of our pieces of EXP. And I love the fact that they're focused on helping all of us become the best version of ourselves. And that's what this journey in life is the person you become along the way. And so I think that's great. So I'm going to go back here to the beginning with Lindsay. And Lindsay, let's go with this. Learning from other people's mistakes is better than making the mistakes yourself, right? Like when you make your own mistake, you learn from that. But let's help other people and talk about a mistake maybe that you made in the past. Or if you could go all the way back to the beginning when you first started, what is something that you would do differently?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've made all the mistakes, right? I think I think I've done everything you shouldn't do, or, I just feel like that's part of learning and growing. And I think if you can find people, I mean, even people in this room, mentors, people in your local market, EXP or non-EXP agents, and just pick their brains, take them for coffee, and listen to what they've learned over the course of their career. We call it R&D, rip off and duplicate. And I say I've made the mistakes so that the agents around me don't have to make the mistakes. I mean, I could go on and on and on, forgetting to do walkthroughs, anything and everything I feel like I've done. And I think leaning on people in the EXP ecosystem. Why don't they want to meet you for coffee, Dominic? I'll meet you for coffee. But leaning on people within the EXP organization, and somebody else said plugging in. I mean, I plug into as much as I possibly can because I'm a constant learner, and I feel like that's how you avoid making the mistakes. So lean on the people around you, and they'll help guide you to the finish line without having to trip and fall over and over and over again.
Great job, Lindsay. I like it. Karina, how about a mistake or something? If you could go all the way back to the beginning, you could do all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, I just want to say that I am never afraid of making mistakes. I take every mistake as a learning experience, and I build on top, always. I think one of the first misconceptions that I had when I started was that I was so focused on taking care of my clients and advising them, counseling them, and assisting them in negotiations that many times I ruffled the feathers of some of my other colleagues in my market, other realtors who I saw them more as the opposite side of the transaction, and I should have seen them more as part of a team to try to get the transaction to closing. So I've learned that a long time ago, and now I can say that I have a lot more fluidity, and I have a lot more less friction when I have transactions with my colleagues, and I've made amends where I know I screwed up a lot, and I asked for forgiveness and I apologized. So do not make the mistake of not being kind and understanding with your colleagues, because you are going to see them again in the future.
Love it. Great. Craig.
I would say ask before you spend. I know when I started out, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I wasted a ton of money on stuff that people were selling me, whether it be, my own brokerage at the time saying, this is what you need to do, you need to go invest in this, and it was kind of an old school way of thinking, and giving no advice after that. But I would say definitely ask before you spend. In the olden days, in a traditional brokerage environment, it was even hard to ask because you had to ask the person in the cubicle next to you, and if they didn't know about it, they would go and look it up and then compete against you. And if they had it and it was working, they wouldn't tell you the truth anyhow because they didn't want you to have what they didn't have. But we're lucky enough to have a giant organization, which is eXp Realty, which operates under the umbrella of one company. And we have things like Workplace that we can go in and bounce ideas off of people and ask questions and get true answers, because we're all shareholders. Everybody wants to help each other grow, and they will tell you the truth, and you'll get plenty of solid answers, and you can make a much better business decision with your money. So I would say that's my thing.
Great. Love it, Craig. Stacy, take us home here with the last one.
So if I could go back and tell my 22-year-old self one thing, it would probably be keep a way better database. I mean, everything, anniversaries, kids, pets' names, interest, it is worth gold down the line if you can differentiate yourself with everybody else that knows everything about them.
Yeah, the lifetime number of sales up 25 years. Now we're selling their kids' houses, right? So it's pretty amazing on that. And so I want to thank all of our superstars here on stage. Lindsay, Karina, Craig, Stacy, great job being an Icon agent. If you're out there and you're watching this and you want to become an Icon agent, sit down with somebody in your upline and set some goals and work out a plan. This is a great time now to be doing written goals with action-oriented items behind them for 2022. We're going to have an amazing year as EXP agents. And if you're watching this and you're not part of EXP, get back with the person that sent you this link. Maybe you're watching on YouTube or something like that. Or if you know one of these people on stage, get with them and talk about EXP, because here is the thing about our company. We believe in helping you become the best version of yourself, help you sell more houses. We have all kinds of programs in place to help you sell more homes. We have a lead gen system with our KV Core included. You heard about our Express Offers program, our Reload program, our REO program, all these different things in place to help you sell more houses. We have all this integrated coaching and teaching to help you learn everything you need to do to be a better agent. As you heard Craig mention before, we're all going to be shareholders in the company, so you're going to have part ownership. So at the end of your career, you have a nest egg sitting there. We also have our revenue share program where you can generate monthly reoccurring revenue share cash flow coming in outside of your own personal commissions, where Glenn Sanford, our founder, has created where he shares back 50% of the company revenue, not the profit, the revenue, every single month back to the agents that helped grow the company that month and help do some sales. We also have a healthcare plan, all kinds of crazy things. As you can tell, I love EXP. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today out there in the audience. And good luck to you out there. Hit us up if you need some advice on how to be Icon agents. There are thousands and thousands of Icon agents with EXP, and we want you to be a part of it too and be up here on stage one day. Thank you again to all of our panelists. Everyone, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. We'll see all of you in 2022.
Thanks for jumping in, Jim.
Thank
everybody.
You guys were awesome. Great job. Nice dancing there, Stacy.
Hey, Lindsay or Craig, are you still on?